Before you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard. And after you win, everyone will remind you how lucky you got.
Have faith over fear. Fear worries, faith prepares. Fear hesitates, faith moves. Fear is weakness, faith is strength. Have faith, it will all work out, but work like it never will.
Doubt is such a strange thing. I mean, it's, there'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. It is. I mean, you just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is, right? If you win, great, you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway.
What's the difference between the guys who are elite and the guys that are world champions? World champions that are prepared to do the most boring work with the least amount of complaining. If you do what you say that you want to achieve, which is become better in whatever it is that you are, even becoming better as a parent, friend, or whatever, as you become more advanced, there will be fewer and fewer people that can give you advice about what you're going to come up against.
Here's the thing, I think we do get the blessing of being tested, but I think the tests start small. And I think if you fail on the small tests, you don't even get to the big tests. If the small tests make you depressed, make you think, oh, it's not working, and make you give up on your dreams, and you sort of become a victim, it's harder for me, it's easy for them, and you just end up sort of stagnant, then you don't get to the bigger tests. I think the bigger tests came for me in life because the little tests, I was plowing through them.
Winning isn't once what I thought it was. I found it to be much more complex than our traditional definitions of success. What I found is that winning doesn't happen on show day. It happens in those early mornings, painful workouts, long cardio sessions, and hungry nights. It happens in those moments of fear we all have when faced with a difficult goal. And then more so, what you make of that fear. It happens in every second of every day before you win. If you can take every opportunity you have to bring yourself closer to your goal, win every one of those opportunities, all while becoming more resilient in the process, how can you lose? That is an exciting opportunity, an exciting responsibility to find out what you're truly capable of.
Difficulties in life is nothing that stops you. Because it is so heartbreaking, because it goes so deep, it carries the potential for the highest transformation.
It doesn't matter if you feel overwhelmed. Like, it doesn't matter if you're frustrated. It doesn't matter if you're mad. It doesn't matter if you're bitter. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like it. It doesn't matter. Those things do not matter. It doesn't matter if your friends don't believe in you. It doesn't matter if your parents don't believe in you. These things do not matter. How you feel does not matter in the equation of building a life, okay? What you do matters, and that is it.
Most people don't fail because they're not good enough. They fail because they never go all in. They stay in the life they were handed instead of building the life they actually want.
When you ask for strength, you're not going to be given strength. You're going to be given an opportunity to be strong. So when you want to change your mindset, when you want to become more mentally strong, when you want to become more disciplined, you're not just going to be granted superpowers that allows you to endure and allows you to do the things that you don't want to do. Instead, you're going to be given pain to feel. You're going to be given something to endure. You're going to be given mountains to climb, things you don't want to do that you must now do because you want to be disciplined. You're going to be given a test, and it's up to you to pass it. And once you do pass it, you're going to be given another test and another one and another one. And the more that you lean into that mindset, the more it becomes part of you. When you want your muscles to be stronger, it is not ask and you shall receive. It is ask and you shall get your ass in the gym and start lifting weights. Start feeling that pain and you will earn strength. If you want to develop a certain trait, you have to do the things that require it.
A friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead.
including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted all along. Imagine that someone you know achieves every dream and hits every goal they have. Years later, they get old and die. 2 years after that, how much do you care? About as much as everyone else will if you accomplish your goals and dreams. Do it for you.
This is so simple, I don't want you to miss it. Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. And when you accept your life, you are living on things that are not worthy of your time and effort and energy.
He said, recently I visited Alcatraz prison. Once it housed the most hardened of criminals. Today, it's open for tours under the direction of the United States Parks Department. Many men have tried to escape Alcatraz, but no one is known to have succeeded. As I listened to the tour guide explain the impossibility of escape, I thought of other prisons equally as confining as Alcatraz, but where the doors are never locked, no guards walk the walls, escape is encouraged and, in fact, possible. And he said that prison is habit. You want to really be consciously aware of what you're doing. Is it a habitual thing you're doing every day? Is that what's controlling your life, your destiny? Or are you choosing and going in the direction of your dreams? He said our habit of thinking about ourselves and our environment is either a jail or a paradise. We just have to look around us to see people who are rich emotionally and materially because they think and feel rich. We also see people who are laden with emotional and material debt because they think lack. Some are inspired with vision. Others, unfortunately, are encumbered by doubt. Some are moved by ambition. Others are paralyzed by fear. Some feel free to change. Others feel safer in monotony.
You don't get rid of self-doubt through the same means by which you learned it, and that is in the head. Self-doubt is purely a head-created phenomenon. You were taught it, and you do it to yourself. The fastest Band-Aid ripped off remedy to fixing this terrible situation is to do the thing you're afraid to do. Do it. It's about doing it. Courage. You've got courage is what you will experience and what you will grow when the doubt is there, but you do it anyway. So your problem isn't doubt. Your problem is courage. Doubt is going to be there, but doubt gets out of the way when you express courage.
What is the difference between winners and losers? The difference between winners and losers is that prior to every event, upcoming event, losers think of the last time they went into an experience like this and it didn't work out. They think of their previous failures. They vividly imagine and think about how embarrassed, humiliated, unsuccessful, how badly they felt. And the losers relive and recall failure and poor performance. The winners insist upon reliving and recalling excellence and success. So you can tell if you're destined to be a winner or a loser simply by looking at what you think about in each upcoming event. And if you just make the decision right now to think about what you desire, ask yourself, am I thinking about what I want to happen, or am I thinking about what I'm afraid will happen? Remember, the natural tendency is to think about what you're afraid of, not what you desire. So force your mind, using the law of substitution, take your mind off of what you fear and refuse to entertain it.
What happened to you is not going to change. You can only determine what is going to be the consequence of what comes to you. What is going to be the consequence? How will you transform it? Will you let it stuck inside of you and it slowly eats you up from the inside? Or do you make something different about it? And this is based on the thoughts, on the mental redirectioning of yourself.
The biggest trophy that I ever got in my entire life was me, was really figuring out me. I realized that. I realized it's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about being accepted by your peers and everybody else. It's about figuring out who I am and being happy with who I am.
Aren't you sick of getting on Instagram and seeing someone else putting in the work that you should be doing? You can watch someone else all day long, but don't you think life would actually change if you were running the miles or starting the business? You've got to stop just being a consumer of greatness and start producing it, because an extraordinary life doesn't happen by accident, and no one's gonna make it happen for you. Please do not fall for the chosen one complex, because the only person that's gonna save you from a life of standing still is you.
And you know that's exactly the way your life is every day, blank. Nothing there, put on it anything you want. You don't have to let what's on the previous page determine. You don't have to let what somebody tells you's coming determine. You can put anything on it you want. You got a clear sheet. Every one of us has. Now, grasp that. We can start over right now, build the image.
Doubt is like it's burned off by courage. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, do the thing and you will have the power. We're waiting for the power. We're waiting not to self-doubt any longer. All right, whatever it is that you're deciding that you want to do with yourself, that you're doubting your ability on, just do it. Get out completely. That's another thing that you've got to get through your mind, is that success is not doing the right thing, and it definitely isn't doing the right thing the first time. Success is having the courage to move in the direction of your dreams, move in a direction that your heart is taking you. That is what success is, as you are progressively realizing that thing.
Let it fall apart. Not everything is meant to be held together. Some things are just meant to crumble. The discomfort, the uncertainty, the chaos, it's not a sign that you're failing. It's proof that you're outgrowing who you used to be. You don't have to see the whole path right now. You just have to trust that where you're headed is better than where you've been. So let the old version of you dissolve. And when the dust settles, you'll realize that you never needed to hold on. You just needed to have the courage to rebuild.
Winston Churchill said, and I quote, "Success is going from failure to failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm." Doesn't matter if you win, that's not success. The success is going from the failure to the failure to the failure and still being excited to show up. It's like, this is how I liken success. Success is like love. You know the beautiful part about love? Getting the kicked out of you and then coming back for more. That's so optimistic. To be like, whoa, I just had my ass handed to me, and yet I want to be vulnerable again. I want to go through this again. I want to open myself up to this. I want to be touched by that. I want to feel that. Fucking people can get behind that, man. We can get excited about that. We want to be friends with people like that. We want to feel that in our own lives, that willingness to have tasted defeat and still come in open and not jaded. How beautiful is that?
As the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, and has nothing. You may avoid suffering and sorrow, but you simply cannot learn, feel, change, grow, live, or love. Chained by your certitudes, you will be a slave. Only the person who risks is free.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal, but progressive realization means that you're doing things that you don't know how to do. You're stepping out in faith. You're being courageous. Your self-doubt will step out of the way when you build the balls to do the thing, and the power will be added to you.
Let the miracle of everything that's available work for you, and start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy, work on your attitude, work on your personality, work on your language, Work on all of your abilities. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change for you.
The only way to get to day 800 is to start with day 1. One decision, one shift in your mindset, one thought of being tired to stay the same. The only thing that matters is starting. Day 1 turns into day 2. Day 2 turns into a week. A week turns into a habit. And a habit turns into a lifestyle. Because the only difference between day 1 and day 800 is consistency and a relentless will to just keep going.
Or between this space here and greatness, there's a lot of work. There's so much space to fill in with work. And we just say, forget, I'll just stay over here in this space.
You know the heaviest weight you'll carry? Is knowing the man that you could be, but not doing the things you know you would need to do to become him. It's a decision at that point.
It's like failure, guys. It's only temporary. Giving up, well, that's permanent. Giving up on your potential, what you can be because you're scared of the outcome, that's permanent. Giving up on the challenge of going for what's safe and comfortable, that's permanent. The belief, once turn your back on, you turn your back on your belief of what you can be. If you do that, say hello to the debate inside your head the rest of your life. It never stops talking to you.
You just have to write down your dream and then write down a list of how do you accomplish that? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn to be able to accomplish those goals? And that's what I do. I don't just sit there and worry about it. I just start doing it. And don't be so worried if you're afraid. It's like, okay, I feel it. It's like, that's fine. Just keep working through it. Really, the fear you feel is the unknown. It's what you don't know. And just kind of recognize that it's okay not to know, and work towards a knowingness of things.
Every one of us has self-limiting beliefs. Every one of us believes ourselves to be limited in some way. Every one of us believes ourselves to be limited in intelligence, creativity, money-making ability. I can't sell, I can't speak in front of audiences. We tend to think that we are not capable of being on time, we're not mechanically inclined, and so on and so forth. But exhaustive research demonstrates that talents are pretty evenly spread throughout the population. That most of the limitations we have do not exist in reality, they exist only in your own mind. And one of the starting points of great achievement is to start questioning those self-limiting beliefs and throw them off and act as if they did not exist.
It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. 946 times since he was in high school, the ball has been in his hand to take the game-winning shot with no time on the clock. He has only made 146 of those. You know what they write about? When you make it. They write about when you make it.
Work like they're trying to take it from you, because they are. If you're not working like someone is trying to take everything you've worked for, someone eventually will. They don't care that you're tired. They don't care how you feel. They don't care about your excuses. They don't care about your emotions. Complacency kills.
You quit. Why is that, sir?
Well, you know, I gave it everything I had. But there's always gonna be someone better out there. Everyone has limits, and in the end, I ran straight into mine. Maybe you can't relate, but you'll get it when you're older.
No, I won't. I never give up, sir. I'll die before I get it.
So what would you say the biggest deception was? What was the biggest lie you were told?
It's not that simple.
Why not?
No, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. It's not that simple.
It's a lie they tell you over and over again.
What's not simple?
Any of it. All of it. It's how they get you to give up. They say it's not that simple, Vinny.
So what's the truth?
There it is. And if you just do the thing that they tell you, you can't, then it's done. And you realize it is that simple.
What are you afraid of, Eric?
I'm not afraid of it.
No. You're afraid of something, and it's stopping you.
Stopping. From what?
From becoming what we all know you're capable of being.
What I'm capable of, what I'm capable of. You know something, Mr. Feeney, I'm always hearing that. What I'm capable of. I took the SATs last year, remember? I blew them. You know, maybe I'm just not meant to be in college.
Maybe you're someone who gives up too easily. What would it be, Mr. Matthews? Who are you?
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing. What are you passionate about?
Another moment of life. Our lives, what we create, are made from the decisions we make on a moment-to-moment basis. Champions are never woken up and born into success. They're created, they're mature, they're struggled, and weathered through that effort of hard work and dedication and sacrifice to achieve that championship status. It's these moments, these decisions we make on a daily basis. Do we get up early and go for a run? Do we hit the snooze button? Do we go that extra rec in the gym and our body's dying? We push past that. All these little things are the inches that add up to be the measure of difference between first place and forever forgotten second place. Huge margins. But if you look about your day and all these little moments of life, all these little opportunities are in your wheelhouse. You create them. And later in life, when you're crying because you came up short, stop being so selfish. Look back on your day, examine it, put it under a microscope, and have responsibility for your actions. Those inches you need to be number one then, which is now in the past, are around us every single day. It's not a bad break, it's not the ref making a bad call. It's that you get up that day and do those little tiny things, the little details, the little nuggets of life. That's what adds up to be the difference.
If you have a dream, if you have a goal in life that you want to accomplish, I can tell you, hard work, dedication, determination, but always have that dream and continue to have that vision, because when you continue to propel forward, you will see accomplishments. Take small steps, and sooner or later, they will continue to grow and grow and grow into bigger accomplishments. Believe in yourself, stay strong, stay focused. No matter what, the bad times don't last forever. If someone tells you you can't, you prove to them that you can. If someone fires you from a job, you say, you know what? When one door closes, another door opens. Always believe in yourself. Don't try to be like anyone else. Live your dreams, live your thoughts, and live your ideas to the fullest. And always believe that no matter what happens in your life, it's for a greater purpose.
Rise, young warrior. You must get up. Your journey is not over.
I can't fight him. He has all my weapons. I have nothing.
When you began your journey, you were determined. Nothing could stop you. And now that you are so close, are you willing to give up so easily?
It was easier at the beginning.
Beginnings are often easier. But think of all that you have accomplished along your journey.
What's the point of fighting my way up the mountain when someone else is just going to come up the easy way?
There is always going to be someone who does things the easy way. But that should not stop you from doing things the right way. It is your journey, young warrior. Only you decide when it ends.
I just don't think I can do this. I'm never going to find a home.
You know, sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. It can tell you you're no good, that it's all hopeless. But I've discovered this. You are loved and important, and you bring to this world things that no one else can. So hold on.
The best things in life are obvious. They don't need a plan, perfect timing, or anyone's approval. They come from a feeling you can't ignore. You don't have to overthink it or force it. The work feels weightless, the risk feels small, and the hours you spend disappear. That's how you know it's yours. It doesn't fight you, it finds you. So lean into that thing, because that's where the magic is.
If you can, for the rest of your life, live inside of yourself, all these insecure people putting their insecurities on you, you gotta flush it out. You gotta just be whoever the hell God or whoever the hell you believe in. If you believe in nothing but yourself, I don't care what it is. You gotta take everything and throw it away. You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself.
Imagine that you were taking care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? 3 years from now, you can have what you need. You got to be careful about it. You can't have everything. You can have what would be good for you, but you have to figure out what it is, and then you have to aim at it.
Right now, for you to find greatness in yourself, you're not gonna find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. I may give you the spark, but you've got to go inside yourself to find it.
We're all walking around managing perfect dysfunction. Like, let's just say that. Like, there is no perfect. Pursuing perfect is a false pursuit that will always leave you disappointed, right? And so our job is to perfectly dance with our imperfection.
One of the things that's really, really important to make familiar is praise. And one of the things to make unfamiliar is criticism.
But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness.
Your life belongs to those people who are going to cross the path. And because they cross your path, not anybody else's, but because they cross your path, you inspired them to want to be a better person. You inspired them to want to express love in the way that they hadn't thought before. You inspired them to listen with open ears and an open heart because they crossed your path.
Dark room, you face yourself, you realize you want to be better, you realize you don't want to be this weak, insecure person in the world who has all these problems that we all have. We all have. So that's where that dark room is.
The major cause of depression are harsh, hurtful, critical words that you say to yourself over and over again.
First one is clarity. Clarity, meaning solitude is a wonderful time for self-reflection, to self-reflect, to go inside when you're going very fast and you're driving your life very fast, you don't often have time to just say, am I going in the right direction? And so clarity can come from the power of questions. Questions give you answers. And if you ask the right questions, you'll get the right answers.
But a huge part of the reason that people fail is because they don't ever set up the criteria for success. And so since success is a very narrow line and very unlikely, the probability that you're going to stumble on it randomly is zero. And so there's a proposition here, and the proposition is, if you actually want something, you can have it. Now the question then would be, well, what do you mean by actually want? And the answer is that you reorient your life in every possible way to make the probability that that will occur as certain as possible.
You don't get to come in and leave without being responsible for those that you impact. And when you understand that, you're like, hold on, my light literally sends waves out into the universe. It sends waves to the people around me, and it impacts the way they choose to show up in the world. When you recognize that, then the question becomes, so what are you sending us?
It's so easy to be great nowadays. Most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody.
Your mind doesn't care if what you tell it is right or wrong, good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. It lets it all in. Your mind will do what you tell it. Now that you know that, tell it great things.
What's most important to me in life? And then you make a list of those things, and then ask yourself second question. And the second question is, are the actions I'm taking each day fulfilling those values, my answers? Are your actions giving you those values, fulfilling those values? So get clarity and journal, write them down, check in with yourself.
So I have a dream. Okay, fantastic. I have one question. What skills does your dream require you to obtain? I always tell people, stop rehearsing the failure and stop rehearsing it under the guise of I just want to be ready. I want to have a backup plan. Well, the problem is what you're going through over and over and over is how things are going to go wrong. It is far better for you to put your energy into how to make sure that they go right. Then you're rehearsing over and over and over. You don't just think about the 1,000 ways that a building could fall. You think about structural integrity. You think about how do you build that in? Where do the posts have to be? That's the thing you rewire over and over.
So get to the spot where your mind is saying stop. Wherever that is, you gotta get there first. You gotta control yourself in that moment.
This is my dream and not be ashamed by it, because whatever your dream is, like, that's your dream. Don't let somebody else take that away from you.
You tend to think that what you want, you just march right towards it. But if in sports, you march right towards the goal, what happens? The defenders come in. And what the defenders are is it's your brain saying, ain't gonna happen. So the second you start moving toward that thing you want, be ready. You're gonna tell yourself you don't feel like it. You're gonna have to force yourself. It's happening. There's no way to get around it. And I wanna remind you about something. Unlike a sports field where there's an in and out of bounds, the great thing about life is there actually aren't any. And it's usually in those moments where you feel like you can't do it, that you're closer than ever to having everything that you wanted. And I wanted to show you this so that you keep it in mind, because I think a lot of times when you look back, it's the darkest moments where you realize, holy cow, that's what projected me forward.
But what makes mastery is execution on the ideas, not the ideas. And so no idea works unless you're willing to roll up your sleeves, do the practice, invest the time, put in the effort, do the work.
Typically on the other side of your greatest fear, of your greatest insecurity, is your greatest blessing. Everyone goes, well, get out of your comfort zone, you'll find it. No, no, no. What you're afraid of and what you're insecure about, on the other side of that is typically one of the great gifts or blessings in your life. You don't even know the magnitude of what it's costing you to get into your fears and insecurities. And by the way, insecurities and fears are different things. They're both really insidious, detrimental things that people struggle with. And so on the other side of your fear, that's one thing. And on the other side of your greatest insecurity are blessing. And you have no idea the immeasurable waves that you're missing in your life because you are giving into them and cowering to them.
There's people around you, whether they're in your life or now social media, you know, people are always going to tell you no, and people are always going to like roll your eyes when you tell them your dream or your goal. And I think that those dreams and those goals are within reach, and they're, you know, just at the tip of our fingertips.
What you're after is the emotion. And so what I want people to get is the emotion they want now, and all it is a new habit. It's learning to discipline this mind, right? By realizing the mind thoughts are out there and letting them float by and constantly coming back to what can I love about this? What can I appreciate? It's like, if you can learn to love or at least appreciate, start to enjoy the things that you used to get upset about, how much freedom would you have?
And there's just a part of you, I think, in anything you're doing when you're struggling, is this really for me? Is this my destiny? Should I be doing this? And we misread failure from some sign, you know, is this a sign I shouldn't be doing it? You know, is this a sign I am, you know, not cut out for this, instead of looking for signs that you can win?
They make a decision now that says, I'm gonna live in a beautiful state and I'm gonna find beauty in whatever life brings me. If life is too short not to.
Play the long game. Aim for legendary. Don't just say, I want to be world-class in my dominant pursuit for a little window of time. Say, I want to have the guts and the grit and the acumen and the mindset and the capability and the commitment to play enduring success. And that's why I say nothing fails like success.
And it's that executing against dreams that will change your life. It is not the dream itself. And that is my mission in life, to get people to understand, one, it's not enough to dream, and two, you can learn those skills. And once you have those skills, you can create. Once you can create, you can shape your life. And that's what it's about. People slide into depression because they don't think they can create the life they want. They feel that they're beholden to someone else, that there's some invisible game being played that they don't understand, that they're at the mercy of rules to which they're not privy to.
The world has to hear your voice. That when it's looked back on 20 years from now and you were here, there's an opportunity to say, what did we do? Where did we go? How did I show up? How did I share? How did I show out? How did I do it?
A resilient person is capable of standing up to things in the face of fear and moving forward voluntarily, convinced of their own competence and ability to prevail. We don't even want to be protected from those difficulties, because a major part of life and its meaning is the challenge that comes with confronting difficulties.
We're all going to have these days where it just feels like it's too hard, we don't want to do it anymore, and you want to quit. And that's okay, but you can't quit or give up on those days.
You are where you are because of the choices you've made and the skill set you've built. Period. End of story.
Now, why is that the best news ever? Because it means you're in control.
You've steered yourself to exactly this point. Now, you may not have been paying attention. You may not have had the clarity that you now know that you need if you want to end up in the exact place that you want to end up. But now that you take that control back and you recognize that you can go anywhere you want, become anyone you want to become, but you're going to have to put in the work, now you can decide whether you want to put in that work or not. And if you don't, that's fair enough. Because the real punchline of all of this, by the way to win this game called life is not money. It is quite simply, what do you think about yourself when you're by yourself?
If you want revenge for the bad things that have happened in your life, start with the version of you that hasn't lived up to your potential.
You have no f***ing idea how great you really are.
Because maybe I'm not good enough. Your story may not have such a happy beginning.
It's not okay for you to be a weak loser.
But that doesn't make you who you are.
And the reason it's not okay is because you could be way more than that.
This life is not here to make you suffer.
Because you are using such minimal of what you have.
This life is here to make you understand what is your potential.
They say the true hell is when the person that you are meets the person you could have been.
It is the rest of your story, who you choose to be.
My philosophy is, why be normal when you can be the best?
And I learned the greatest gift of all. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Play full f***ing out.
If you're going to try, go all the way.
You're not as far away from these dreams as you think you are.
Is that so many people die with untapped potential because they think that someone else is f***ing better than them.
All life forms strive to the max of its potential except human beings.
If you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are now. You got the makings of greatness in you, but you gotta take the helm and chart your own course.
We can beat anyone. We can do anything. It's only a matter of going.
I forget one time I was running by a graveyard, and I ran by a graveyard, and I looked out there, and I have all these epiphanies, man. I have all these the moments of it's crazy, man, of just thought. Cause I'm always by myself. I'm always deep in thought about how to be better. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there and just are so upset with how you lived your life, regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro.
You know, there's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place. And that's the graveyard.
Everyone has the possibility to unlock something very, very special about him or herself. And it's up to your actions. Ultimately, it's you yourself who also is able to unlock it.
If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way.
Most of us don't use the stuff that we have brought into the universe. And we want to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to start living life with a sense of urgency and using what we've got. Using ourselves up. Sharing what we brought into the universe to share. Because if we don't, nobody else will. Stop wasting valuable time. Knowing that if we begin to live our lives as if each day were our last, our lives will take on a whole new meaning. It take on a whole new expression.
Like, I'm 54 years old right now. Like that. I mean, it just flew by. You think when you're young that you have all this time. You have no time.
And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because Do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do?
You know, I don't have it, I can't do it. Our natural tendency is to sell ourselves short. Our natural tendency is to think of the reasons why we can't before we think of the reasons why we can. So the key to breaking ourselves out of the comfort zone and breaking ourselves loose of the shackle of helplessness is courage and confidence. We neutralize the antidote to fear and ignorance is desire and knowledge. And the more we learn about what we want to do and be and have, the more we believe that we can do it. The more we believe that we can do it, the more willing we are to try. And the more willing we are to try, the more likely it is we will succeed. What is the first part of triumph? The first part of triumph is to try.
It'll take time. It'll be a process. And sometimes you will have to convince yourself, right, that it's possible. And if you don't know how to change the way that you think, begin to digest new information and find those people that empower you. Find those people, elevate your spirit and your soul, and understand that your potential, my friend, is limitless. You, my friend, are limitless, but you must believe. And if you can believe, all things are possible.
That the reason that you are doing this alone is because you are on the path to greatness. You are on the path to achieving and obtaining everything that you've ever desired. It's going to feel so good at the end.
Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, or how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds, and it will be better than anything you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
A lot of people are afraid to even try hard because then if you try hard and you fail, you feel like a failure. The aspect of being a failure doesn't come from the success in the end. It comes from if you really quit on yourself, or if you don't put in the effort you know you can put in and you're kind of holding back on your true potential.
The unfulfilled potential is the story of most people's lives.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, and if they can't stop you, then you become something else entirely. Legend, the story.
Far too many people abandon their path. And it's because they forget their why they chose this journey in the first place. Please don't let that be you.
Give a man a purpose and the ability to achieve it, and he will crawl over broken glass from this mine.
If you're cool with that, man, if you're cool with walking in the shadows of yourself, and you know the only person you got is the man right there in the shadow, man. How you doing? Pretty good. How you doing? All right, man. Cool, cool. You know, if you're cool with that kind of walk of life, I'll tell you, man, the world is your playground.
I think the best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. Right? You always want to outwork your potential. You know, as hard as you believe you can work harder than that.
You have so much potential. You have a gift. And the purpose that you were put here to fulfill, people out there, real people, are depending on. You will share many great memories. You will be confident and proud of the person that you've become. That's what this is for. That's what's on the line here. And that's what's waiting for you on the other side, my friend.